They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face. Ear to ear, baby. You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari.
Before Ben Affleck suited up to become Gotham's next Caped Crusader,
Tell me. Do you bleed?
before Ben Affleck would take home multiple Oscars and Golden Globes for his work as a writer, producer, and director, before Ben would date Gwenyth Paltrow, Jennifer Lopez, and marry Jennifer Garner, before Ben would find himself on tabloid covers for his vices including gambling, nanny hanging, strange tattoos, and his battle with the beer bulge. And just to be fair, I'm gonna cut him some slack for that one. Before Ben Affleck would become BFFs with Matt Damon,
us hanging out, taking selfies.
before he would star in The Town, Armegeddon, Daredevil, Pearl Harbor, Mallrats, and one of the worst rated movies of all time.
This is my eyes. Is suckmydick.com.
I thought you wanted to be my bitch.
Ben Affleck was born in Berkley, California, but his family would relocate to that of Massachusetts when he was only 2 years young. Now his father was an actor and he would spend a lot of time hanging around his theater friends, and Ben, well, he was pretty taken by the world of performance. At the age of 8, his mom introduced him to another boy who was 10 years old, and this would be Matt Damon. Yeah, they were set up on a play date and the two hit it off. Ben was enrolled in acting and spent his early teens traveling the country after starring in The Voyage of Mimi.
Hi, I'm Ben Affleck. I play the part of C.T. Granville in The Voyage of the Mimi. The story of The Voyage of the Mimi is made up, but everything in it really could happen.
Now this was a show produced by PBS, which was a grade school science learning channel, and Ben, he did a fantastic job.
Well, it's not really a humpback whale, it's a full-scale model of a humpback whale.
Now after high school, Ben Affleck, he had lost his passion for acting and he decided to attend the University of Vermont where he was going to learn Spanish. But then he broke his hip and he had his heart broken, and things weren't going so good. He then moved across the country to sunny LA to study Middle Eastern affairs at Occidental College. But being that close to Hollywood, Ben again wanted to give acting another shot. He decided to drop out of school and he got a few breaks with bit parts in School Ties, Dazed and Confused, as well as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. In 1995, he would hook up with director Kevin Smith and the two would hit it off. They began collaborating on a film known as Mallrats, but Kevin Smith could only give Ben a small role because he was so busy working on another project. You see, Ben was flying back and forth from Minnesota to LA because him and a friend known as Matt Damon had written a movie that was going into production. And it's something you may have heard of. It was called Good Will Hunting. What's going on, guys? My name is Michael McCrudden and welcome to Before They're Famous, documenting the life and career of Ben Affleck prior to fame, here for you on Before They're Famous. Now you guys requested this video, so as always be sure to let me know in the comments down below who you want to hear about next. And Henry Cavill, Superman? Yeah, it's been done.
You know what the best part of my day is? For about 10 seconds from when I pull up to the curb and when I get to your door. Because I think maybe I'll get up there and I'll knock on the door and you won't be there.
Ben Giza Affleck Bolt was born on August 15, 1972 to Chris and Tim Affleck in Berkley, California. His mother Chris was a teacher raised in academic circles on the Upper East Side of Manhattan and educated at Radcliffe and Harvard. Now his father Tim, he was a little bit on the other side of the spectrum. He preferred the job title of that of actor, but he worked all sorts of jobs throughout Ben's life. He was a mechanic, he was a bartender, he was a bookie, as well as a janitor at Harvard. Yeah. According to Ben, he said his father was a very smart man, but due to his alcoholism, he never reached his full potential. Huh. A troubled, brilliant Harvard janitor in love with an educated woman. Why does that sound so familiar?
I fucking owe it to myself to do this or that. What if I don't want to? No, fuck you. You don't owe it to yourself. You owe it to me.
After Ben's brother Casey was born, the family moved to Falmouth, Massachusetts. A friend of the family was a casting director, and by the age of 7, Ben began acting in commercials and independent films. By the age of 8, Ben's mom, well, she had made a new friend who was also a teacher, and she lived only 2 blocks away. She too had a son, which was only 2 years older than Ben, so as moms do, they set up a play date. The other boy, his name was Matt Damon, and the kids hit it off. They both loved to perform, and they both loved softball. Or baseball. They love both.
What is this? Why are you touching me?
Well, I'm not touching you.
Ben entered his teens with huge highs and lows. At the age of 11, his parents would divorce, and him and Casey, well, they would go on to live with his mother. Now his father's drinking, it had broken the family, and his dad, well, he would disappear from the young boys' lives. They would reconcile later in life when his father had gone through rehab and become a counselor for other addicts. At the age of 13, Ben got the starring role in the PBS educational series The Voyage of Mimi.
Scientists study just about everything, and they go just about everywhere to do it.
That's right, a young Ben Affleck was teaching kids all across America about science back in the 80s. Following high school, Ben had the idea to follow a girlfriend to Vermont. She was enrolled in school there, and it turned out to be the worst decision of his life. In a basketball game, he injured his hip, and then all of a sudden he found out this girl had been cheating on him. Alone, depressed, and injured, he had no friends, and he just laid in bed in Vermont. And Vermont ain't that great of a place. It's boring. He soon dropped out of school and then moved across the country to attend Occidental College, majoring in Middle Eastern affairs. While in school, he lived at Eagle Rock, California, and reunited with his best friend Matt Damon. And his academic career, well, once again, it would be cut short. Ben walked out of his creative writing class and never went back after a teacher criticized and humiliated one of his assignments in front of his peers. Can you guess what he was working on?
And the Oscar goes to Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
That's right, it was the first 20 pages of what would go on to become Good Will Hunting. It was at this moment that Ben Affleck vowed that he would make it on his own and develop his discipline and skill set to prove that he did not need teachers or schools for him to succeed. You know, there were a lot of people out there questioning if Ben Affleck was the right guy to play Bruce Wayne, but when you talk about a man from a broken family who wants revenge on the world, he's also brooding and a little pissed off. Yeah, he sounds like the right guy. Ben then paid the bills with bit parts in movies and television. He even landed a role in the short-lived NBC TV series Against the Grain. Think Friday Night Lights, but if Friday Night Lights was absolutely terrible. In 1995, things started to pick up for Ben Affleck when Castle Rock, they decided to purchase the script for Good Will Hunting for $600,000. Simultaneously, Ben Affleck was working with an up-and-coming director by the name of Kevin Smith. They were working on his second film known as Mallrats. But problems came up with the Castle Rock deal. Ben and Matt were determined to star in their own flick, but the studio wanted Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. That's when Castle Rock told Ben and Matt, well, hey, if you can find a buyer, we'll sell back the script. That's when a good old pal, Kevin Smith, stepped in and brought the work to Miramax, and that's when Harvey Weinstein placed an offer. Good Will Hunting was a hit with both critics and audience, and was the 7th highest grossing film that year. And Ben and Matt, well, they became Hollywood sensations overnight.
Your script was tight, and damn it, so are your buns.
It's also important to note that the boys were dead set in casting Robin Williams in the role he played in this film. Without him, they didn't know who else to get. They were basically like, it's gotta be him or no one else. And well, they got him, and I'm happy they did. He did a fantastic job. Be sure to check out the video I made on Robin Williams. After 1997, Bennett had achieved not only an Oscar for Best Screenplay, but also the status of a household name, setting him up for the next few decades in Hollywood where he would be a leading man and an action star. And the rest of the story, well, you know the story because this is before they're famous.
You say thank you.
Be sure to let me know in the comments down below who you want to hear about next. Perhaps Matt Damon. Yeah, I don't know why I said his name like that. Matt Damon. But I can get him done or I can do someone else. You let me know down below and I'll see you guys in another video. Boom! Also, other videos around my head, click on those. You're already here, why wouldn't you? Okay, bye.